Your house is a piece of crap. I've been here before. I was kidding. I've worked here for the last 3 customers. Yeah. Salty.
Your dog's not nearly as nice.
Yeah. So I'm like this salty old sea hag all of a sudden. Like, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Make Trades Great Again podcast. Andy, I'm wondering if we're going to have some technical difficulties on this one.
I don't know.
It ain't starting out promising, folks. I hope you're listening. I hope you're prepared. This is going to be a wild ride.
We can't even get the record button to work.
So we got to give the peoples, the MTGA peoples, a little background. So oftentimes, guys, this is not a lie. Oftentimes, Andy and I get on this recording. We're on like a virtual thing, right? And of course, people that don't watch it on YouTube might not know that. But he's in Montana. I'm in Minneapolis or Minnesota, I guess. And that's where Minneapolis is, right?
51st state.
51st state. That's not how it goes. I don't think.
Okay.
It's 1858. Minnesota became a state. That's how we learned that in grade school.
Got it.
A lot of times we get on this app. This Riverside is what we use. If anybody's ever wondering, if you ever want to know about podcasting and like what you need, what you don't need, we'll give you an idea on what you don't need because we are very minimalist on this, and we've been successful with it the whole time. We often get on this podcast software and we just talk.
Right.
Like for 45, 50 minutes, and we're like, we should probably record something because we got to get to work.
Yeah.
We do it on a Wednesday. These days it's Wednesday mornings. We used to do it on Thursdays all the time, didn't we?
Yep.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, we did do Thursdays for a long time.
It's interesting to record and talk about such heavy, weighty, important world. Like we're holding the world up on our shoulders.
Worldly topics.
Yeah. It's interesting to talk about it at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's funny because it really, what I'm getting at though, I mean, you know what I'm getting at, Andy, but what I'm getting at is, guys listening, almost never do we know exactly what we're going to talk about before we record. Or before we start, before we're looking at each other on our screens. And it's because we're not very good at planning that kind of stuff.
Well, I look back. I don't know what I was doing. I was waiting for something the other day, and I was looking at stats and statistics and whatnot. And I listened to episode 1, and it was terrible,
painful. I want to delete it. Actually, I want to redo one. We can. Bad. I think you can make like a trailer or something like that, and just like take that out of circulation. It's so bad.
But we did the first 2 or so 3 episodes on that same concept of like, let's have a topic and we'll talk about a topic, And
we pretty much abandoned it though, right?
Yeah, we did because it was painful. It was, and I was like, I don't know where I'm going to find enough information for 350 episodes.
Oh my God. Well, when we started this, do you think that did you think? No, of course you didn't. But would you have ever thought we were going to do over 300? We're like 350 or something. Right?
Yeah, I think we're over 350 right now.
It's wild to me. Yeah. It's wild. It's been fun. We're not saying goodbye, anybody. I mean, not that I know of.
At some point, we usually do, but not.
Yeah. No, I mean, like we're not like this isn't our last episode or anything. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how come it doesn't tell us the number so quickly like it.
It used to. It is on there, but what are we? Are we 3 years into it now? That's probably about the right time. 3, 4.
When did we start?
No,
we started during COVID, didn't we?
Speaking of that stuff,
yeah.
Speaking of knowing about things, being prepared for a topic episode.
we're Andy. Hold that thought. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
We actually started in July, so we just celebrated an anniversary. We didn't even recognize. It's a pretty big anniversary, actually. You said we're 3 years into it. We're 5 years into it. Well, we are 5 years into doing this podcast and stuff, and we're still flying by the seat of our pants. And if we've impressed you to this point,
that's right.
Wait till you see what we got coming. Because I can't wait to see it either. I have no idea what it is.
I haven't decided.
Oh my gosh, it's like this is I took a sip off the Goofy cup this morning, apparently.
Right. I got some of that old water.
I told you to hold on to a thought there, and now, of course, I forgot what it was.
About the anniversary. It's 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
5 years. That's kind of crazy.
What is the 5-year anniversary? Is it like something like
Like a
acorn or something?
a rubber donut.
Rubber donut. I said acorn and rubber donut. I think chances are we're both wrong. I'm Googling it right. Wait,
Good.
5-year anniversary theme, right?
Yeah.
So it's it's even better. I was closest. It's wood.
Wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Well,
I ain't got nothing for that one.
no.
And if you open up your mailbox tomorrow or the next day and there's a chunk of wood in it, it's an anniversary gift from your friend Eric.
That's right.
Oh my God, we're off to a good start.
Yep.
Yesterday, we're just gonna BS everybody,
Yeah.
as if you can't tell already. If you're still with us, if we've held on to you for the first 6 minutes of this podcast, yesterday I went out to a job because the other day I got a call from a realtor. Realtors are a whole topic. We could talk about realtors for an episode if you wanted. I got a call from a realtor I'd not dealt with previously, and they said, "Hey, I'm representing the buyer's agent for a house in such and such city." Doesn't matter to the people listening. And the owner has record of you servicing their heating system.
Okay.
And they said the name of the city, and I was like, okay, it's one of 2 people because I don't do a lot of work in this town.
Yeah.
It's far enough away. It's roughly with traffic, it's an hour drive.
Okay.
So I try to avoid that. But it's this massive house built in 1994.
Okay.
And by 1994 standards, probably costs as much as my house does today.
Sure.
31 years later. So it gives you an idea, like, it's pretty big and fancy.
Sure.
Very nice house. It's got a huge hydronic system. The whole house is hydronic. It was done at 94, was done in the time where cast iron boiler, of course. It was done at a time where like 4-way mixing valves were the thing. We didn't have modulating condensing equipment.
Techmar?
It was there is no Techmar, but there's a lot of zone valves and a lot of there's like 4 Taco relay panels, like zone valve relays, pump relays, all this kind of stuff. It has a power vented, so sidewall, atmospheric, non-condensing. Can it be power vented and call it atmospheric? Non-condensing. We're just gonna say non-condensing, power vented, cast iron Wiesmann Atolla boiler.
Okay.
So it's orange, about the size of a Yugo, and was built in 92, installed in 94.
Okay.
It's running perfectly fine at about 85% plus efficiency, if you can believe that kind of rating on an atmospheric boiler with your combustion. You do the math, it comes out high, and you're like, I don't think that's right. But anyway, nice boiler. Top of the line doesn't really necessarily describe what that boiler was in 1994 when it was installed. It would be, the line was below this boiler, and everything else was like, yeah, we make boilers. Those companies are like, we make the best, but they knew they were wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because this boiler actually has like, it operates off of outdoor reset principles without using an outdoor sensor.
Yeah.
Because of its programming and computerization and its control. It's next level. And as you've come to know, I myself too, I didn't know, I wasn't born with this knowledge, believe it or not. I was born a lot of knowledge, but not this much. But as you've come to know, like Wiesmann's equipment,
Yeah.
It's a different level of engineering. I'm gonna just
Yep.
say that. I'm not trying to be fanboy. I am a fanboy of it, but
Yeah.
I spend a lot of money on their stuff. I could put in equipment that at times is cheaper, but I don't
Sure.
because their stuff is pretty phenomenal. Anyway, this is like, even as a cast iron boiler, this is a desirable piece of heating
Yeah.
equipment today in 2025. Like, if I could buy that thing, I could find jobs to install it on.
Oh yeah.
But get the call from the realtor, hey, can you come out because I have a buyer, they're selling the property. Home inspector said they couldn't get the basement zone in floor to operate. Of course, this is a super elaborate, way overdone, overcomplicated, as I alluded to with the four-way mixing valves, all this stuff, and then time framing at 1994. Like we were doing things. I wasn't doing anything in hydronics at that time. I was taking showers. This is about as close as I got to hydronics. I wasn't in the plumbing yet.
Right. Still high school.
Well, yeah, wasn't even graduated. This house was built.
Yep.
Some people listening to this weren't even born, Andy.
Hmm.
That's how
Yep.
that's how old we are.
You shut the hell up.
Yeah, everything was just way overcomplicated, and it's still that way today. It's not any less complicated today. It didn't change, right? It's a lot of
Right.
copper on that wall. It's a whole wall of piping. This thing would have been in a magazine at some point in time. It also has a 92-gallon stainless steel lifetime warranty indirect water heater it's this thing. So the boiler's orange, the water heater's orange and like cream color.
Okay.
And it's kind of a mess these days, like
Yeah.
it's been touched, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was convoluted to start with, but it's way past its useful life expectancy. But I got it called in to like just diagnose and say what's wrong with it. And so I knew the first thing that was wrong with it when I talked to him on the phone. Like, sorry, ma'am, but your client is going to need a new boiler. If they're buying that house, I can look at the value of that house on Zillow and be like, you should tell them you want a new heating system. Or deduct the, roughly
$70,000.
I was going to say 40 to 50 grand off that purchase price to cover the cost, because it's going to take a lot to make this thing right.
Yeah.
So I went out and did that. I don't know why I brought it up, but that was interesting. You go to a house, like, it happens, if you do this long enough, you have houses that you've worked in and then the people move.
Yeah.
It's always weird though, to go in the house when you know more about it than the new owners. Like, they think they love this house. Oh, this is great. And they were like, your house is a piece of crap. I've been here before. I was kidding.
I've worked here for the last 3 customers.
Yeah. Salty.
Your dog's not nearly as nice.
Yeah. I'm like this salty old sea hag all of a sudden. Like, I've been here before. I remember that storm of 23. I was in your basement.
Park in the back, but not in front of the dumpster.
I went out there, did a full, it took me about an hour to do it. I inspected everything. Had the 29-point checklist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And went through all of it. And that's something we could talk about for a minute. Yeah. Checklists. Okay. So I haven't been using them, admittedly. Yeah. I've got a couple. They're kind of stupid because they weren't made right. Yeah. They're in my House Call Pro, like you use. Sure. And I contacted you the other day. So Andy's shop, you guys are using checklists like for everything, right?
We try. I mean, every job's got a checklist. And that's helped a bunch. Like our daily job checklist. I mean, did you turn the power back on?
Yeah.
Are there any leaks? And there are those little simple things. It should, and I said this on the phone the other day. This checklist should be termed, it shouldn't be called job checkout or whatever. It should be anti-callback checklist, right? Like, that's the sole purpose of that checklist. It's like 6 questions.
On your every job gets this one.
Every
Is it
job
just default onto a job?
Yep.
Because that's what you have, that box you can click on House Call that says, I want this to go onto every job we create.
Every job. Right? Yep. So every single job going forward gets that checklist. Can't
But you
finish
have
the job.
other checklists too, like for boiler
Sure.
service, RTU, AC,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Tank
Like
list,
you've
that
got,
kind of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So I built one. Um, Ended up with, I think it had enough info on it.
Yeah.
I think
You
I
can get a
uncovered like a couple. I could like expand a couple of the line items to say, okay, um, if you have, or I had one on there is like zone 1, 2, 3, 4.
sure.
Okay, and it checks out like, and I just put zone because if I was looking at a high efficiency system or a low efficiency, whatever, like you could have zone valves, you could have pumps. I'm not going to get into like, I'm going to have a section just for pumps and just a section for zone valve. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be useful. I can understand that if it says zones, that it's one type of zone or another. Right.
Sure.
So I went through there and I uncovered that they had a bad zone valve on the questionable thermostat that they, zone that they were called about initially, that the
Yeah.
home inspector um uncovered. I was actually able to fix that by
Mhm.
I told him, I'm like, I can fix this while I'm here if you want me to, and here's the cost. And so that was nice.
Right.
Hashtag sold an upgrade on the job. I don't know. I ain't hashtagging anything. I'm sorry I did that.
Yeah.
But the the checklist, my point of this checklist was eye-opening as to how much I'm not looking at without the checklist. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like, I know I'm glossing over stuff. I'm like, well, it ain't actively leaking, but I could see that it was,
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that happens with any procedural thing, right?
Yeah.
So like one of the things I noticed, we were building one of the checklists that I sent you, the standard boiler checkout, right? Expansion tank pressure, right? That's a pretty important thing. Now, here's my line of thought on that. If I have a system that is in really nice function, right? It's got an
Yeah.
older tank, let's call it gray, and I'm not going to name the name that starts with an A. It's got one of those tanks on it. I'm going to probably tap on the tank a couple times and be like, okay, what does this thing sound like? What's the general condition, right? Is this thing 3 years or less in age? Probably okay. Maybe not, you know, and it's, so we had this issue, with my crew was when do we check pressure, right? Should we check it every year?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, let's think about this. Does it have a service valve on the expansion tank? That's the key now. If it has a service valve on the expansion tank and we can isolate the system, drop the water out of it, check the pressure, we'll do that annually. If it does not, then we record and we check every third year going
Okay.
forward, right?
Okay.
And here's my logic behind this. And this may be flawed. It may be not the most profitable
Okay.
from a contractor standpoint, is those systems that don't have a service valve, inevitably, while you're there to do an annual service and you check the pressure could be totally fine, but when you turn the water back on, you've just introduced new oxygenated water. And depending on how the isolation is on the expansion tank, it may take a lot to drain off the pressure for that tank.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily feel like the customer should be on the hook for that. It's like I say, it's kind of frivolous check, in my opinion, to do it every single time to drop the water in a heating system. I don't think it's beneficial to the heating system. I mean, sure, when you've identified that the tank has failed, but what I've found with that is that the more times that you drop that water pressure, the the higher likelihood that you're going to have a pressure reducing valve that's going to fail, and your feed water is going to fail either while you're there or within the next 48 hours.
I think, yeah. I think it's important to put an isolation valve on the tank.
Mm-hmm.
For this reason, for service purposes.
I don't want a tank installed that doesn't have one.
I'll tell you what, here's the deal about expansion tanks. They suck. Most of them are close, let's say adjacent to being junk.
Yeah.
And it's not always, I'm not pinning that fully on like a manufacturing problem. It's just these things, we've demanded them to be as cheap as possible. So they're made out of the cheapest
Yeah,
possible materials. You can buy nice expansion tanks.
sure.
Like, I'll name the brands. I'm not afraid of them because it's not bad or anything. Zilmit will sell you a stainless steel
Yeah,
expansion tank with a bladder in it. Okay, you want an expansion tank that's probably not going to fail on a
right.
heating system,
Yep,
at least not for a very, very long time. Buy that
yep,
one.
yep.
But also know that you're going to pay like $200 versus like 50, 60
Right.
bucks. So like there's a huge difference, or
Yeah.
80 bucks, I think is what kind of
Well,
like a 4 gallon goes for nowadays.
yeah,
But not having a valve on a tank, regardless of whether you paid $50 for it, you paid $200 for it, is the difference of this is a quick and simple service or replacement.
yep,
And I don't have to drain down a system, bleed it out. Like you said, introduce more water, more air, more oxygen. Chance, the boiler fill valve getting a bit of gunk, barnacle in it. And now the backflow preventer is weeping out of the vent because
sure.
it's dirty, things like that, all of that. And also, by the way, something that might take literally hours to do
Yeah,
now, instead of a job, let's just cut it off in an hour. Let's say it takes an hour of your time bleeding out and everything just to replace a simple expansion tank, something that's
yep,
on every hydronic heating system.
yep,
And because you didn't have a valve, but let's say you have a valve and now it takes like 15 minutes.
yeah,
So what do what's that
yeah,
valve really worth, right?
yep,
Um, so that's the valve, the story on the valve. So
yeah,
you're going every 3 years on, that's interesting. Checking
yeah.
it. I don't
We
check it every year either. I'm
no,
not going to pretend that I do.
but so
I
here's what you have to think about as soon as you throw like you and I, we go out in the field and be like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. I checked it last year, right?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's 5 years down the road. With when you introduce employees into that, you have to determine when you're doing things.
You have to
Right.
document it.
Everything has to be documented. Everything has to be spelled out. This is how we do it. Miles has been one of those employees who's been really good about keeping me like on the rails because he'll ask questions like, "Well, so when are we not doing that?
Okay.
When are we not going to check the tank?" And I'm like, "Well, okay, let's how do I make this easier for them to understand? Like, this is a good time to check it, or this is not a good time to check it."
Yeah.
So anyway, it's interesting. The checklists have been very helpful for us. It's nice you can text pictures and notes and things like that, and then upload it to the customers. So
Yeah, that's my customer was blown away. They were
yeah,
just like, "This is awesome." It's
yeah,
just like I've had a lot of people out to our houses and stuff like that, but so the customer was present, by the way, along with the
yeah,
owner and the seller and along with the agent. And they were impressed and they're like, "Wow, this is really nice." And you could see just pass fail flag kind of situation. What is
yeah,
it? Green, orange, red, whatever.
yep.
And yeah, it worked out. I was thorough. I got through it. I didn't check the pressure on the expansion tank because I put one in last year. I did.
I'm gonna pay for that
I wrote the
service.
date it was installed, but and there was a valve, but it was all existing. I didn't do anything
Yep.
special. Yeah, checklists, owners selling stuff.
Yeah,
We're recording at odd times of the day. It's all fun.
yeah. It's 5 years.
Five,
Yeah.
yeah. Happy 5 year, happy wood anniversary. High five. Boom. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Hey, I know this is a random episode, but every once in a while we just really don't. We're not prepared, and I hate to let you down if you thought we were this whole time. We fooled you.
Sorry.
We're
Joke's
human.
on you.
All right, dude. Hey, real quick, if you have any topic ideas or you want to give us feedback on this or any other episode, we'd love to hear from you. You can easily text us in the podcast app you're listening to us on. There's a link in the YouTube video. Scroll down to the comment section. I know you know where it's at, and click that link too. You can send us a text. We won't know who you are or your phone number, to be honest with you. We can't reply to you. But it is a cool one-way conversation if you want to give us feedback of any
Yeah.
type.
Yeah, if you
And
wanna
that's where
argue with
our
yourself,
listener
go for
episode
it.
stuff always come from. And we love to hear from you, and we're so thankful.
Yep.
Got anything else to add, Andy?
Nope.
All right,
That's it.
guys. That was a nice 25-minute episode.
Right there, out of nothing. Thin air.
Yeah, it probably shows. See you guys.
See ya.